Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। Namaste, all of you. Offering our namaskarams and invoking the blessings of Lord Medha Dakshinamurti, the entire Guru Parampara, more specifically Vyasacharya, Adi Shankaracharya, and my Guru Param Pujya Swami Dayanand Saraswati ji, and my Guru from whom I learned Bhagavad Gita along with Shankara Bhashyam Swami Sadatmananda ji. To all of them, we offer our namaskarams, and I convey my Guru Purnima greetings to all of you and extend a warm welcome for this inaugural function as we set out in the journey of learning the meanings of this great text, the divine song, the Bhagavad Gita. We are indeed today blessed in more than one way. It is an honor and privilege for all of us that we have the special blessings of Swami Sadatmananda ji, the Pradhana Acharya of Arsha Vidya Gurukulam at Anekatti at Coimbatore, who has kindly consented to inaugurate this function despite his busy schedule. That today being yesterday and today, all Swamijis are busy with Guru Purnima functions rather. So he has kindly consented to inaugurate this Bhagavad Gita learning program. And to commemorate this auspicious and divine occasion of Guru Purnima, Swamiji has also agreed to deliver his Anugraha Bhashanam and also a talk on Guru Mahima. A few words of introduction about Swamiji for those who have not met him rather. Swamiji took to Vedanta like a fish takes to water. Right from his school and college days, he has been, in Vedanta only rather. In fact, he used to tell us that he started teaching Vedanta to his co-students while he was in college. So he has a very long teaching experience, more than 30 years, if I'm not wrong. He has got teaching experience of Vedanta. And he's an erudite scholar of both Vedanta scriptures as well as Sanskrit, because his Sanskrit is also, he's a scholar in Sanskrit. We have learned a lot from Swamiji in Sanskrit also, apart from, of course, Vedanta. And, simple, unassuming, disciplined, compassionate, straightforward. He doesn't keep something in mind and say something. Very straightforward and very highly approachable. And in fact, to go further, he's very friendly, but he's always very firm. In fact, some of these qualities of Swamiji, I really tried to imbibe in me during my 3.5 years of, 3+ years of my stay in the Gurukulam, right? And Puja Swamiji, Swami Dayanand Saraswati ji, chose Swami Sadatmananda ji not only to succeed him as the Pradhana Acharya of the Gurukulam, but he also handed over to him all his daya, all his compassion. So Swamiji is so compassionate, which we have actually witnessed in the class. He will make sure that the last student who is not following what is being taught follows it. He will keep on repeating, the messages, because we had a lot of foreign students who are totally new to Sanskrit and all. So much of compassion we can see in Swamiji. Some of us used to feel that this is repetition, but when we look at it from a compassionate point of view, it was required for those students, who were actually finding it little difficult to follow things at the first instance. So apart from learning Bhagavad Gita along with, Bhashyam, Shankara Bhashyam from Swamiji, he has been a great inspiration for me personally for developing the self-discipline required for spiritual studies or spiritual, journey. He has been a friend and a guide to me throughout my stay in the Gurukulam, and I have always looked upon to him for any sort of guidance. So I have all his blessings with me, and that is why I am able to actually share the knowledge which I have gained with all of you. Now, with those words, I once again extend a very hearty welcome to all of you and invite Swamiji to inaugurate this function and also deliver his Anugraha Bhashanam and also the talk on Guru Mahima. Harihi Bol. Swamiji, you can unmute yourself. Yes.
Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Shri Gnana Ganapatibhyo Namaha. My namaskaram to all of you. I am very happy to be a part of this inaugural function, where you are starting your study of Bhagavad Gita with Sri Ganapathy. One great thing about all of this class, that you will not have any obstacle in your study in conducting this class, because he himself is Ganapathy. So he is a Vigna Karta, Vigna Harta, and therefore you will not have any obstacle. This is a very good beginning. He has chosen a very good day, and all of you have chosen a very good teacher, because we cannot have a better teacher than Ganapathy. And the text also is very appropriate text. Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Gita, originally, grammatically, it is Gitam, a song. Bhagavat means the Lord, a song of the Lord, or a song by the Lord. And that Lord is glorious. Therefore, we say Srimad. So, Srimad Bhagavad Gita means a song by glorious Lord. And this Bhagavad Gita is a dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna. And the speciality of this dialogue is, the student is a householder, the teacher is a Maha householder. Bhagavan Sri Krishna had got 16,008 wives. So he is a Grihastha and the student is Grihastha. And therefore, people will be able to relate to this text more, because Arjuna represents a common man. The problem Arjuna had, everybody has. Arjuna had the problem of raga, attachment, and shoka, grief, sadness, missing something in life. And that problem everybody has. Everybody is missing something in one's life. And Arjuna had some topical problem, whether to fight or not. From topical problem, he came to fundamental problem. And the fundamental problem is the sense of limitation. Whatever I do, I find myself limited. And I want to be free from this sense of limitation. And therefore we do so many things. But at the end of the day, we find still ourselves limited. So Arjuna discovered this problem and he surrendered to Bhagavan. And Bhagavan gave the teaching, saying that your problem is because of not knowing what really you are. And when ignorance is the cause for the problem, knowledge is the solution for the problem. The people who have got the knowledge of their true nature, they are called Panditaha. And Bhagavan said, Panditaha na anushochanti. Wise people do not grieve. It means wisdom is the solution to the problem of sorrow, the problem of sense of limitation. And then he gave the wisdom. And this wisdom is discovery of one's limitless nature. Vedanta, Bhagavad Gita reveals how I am not what I am thinking myself to be. It makes me discover my true nature, which is free from all limitations. And that teaching Bhagavan gave. But that teaching, which is called Sankhya Yoga, will be useful only when I am mentally prepared. And for preparation, he prescribed the sadhana of Karma Yoga. So final solution is by Gnanam. But Gnanam, to work for me, I need preparation. And that preparation is by Karma Yoga. So he prescribed Gnana Yoga, he prescribed Karma Yoga. And he gave this vision that you follow the sadhana of Karma Yoga, means do your duty with proper attitude, and thereby you become prepared for receiving the knowledge effectively. And when you know yourself, you discover yourself to be free. In the vision of Shastra, you don't have to become free. You are free here and now. So we are not doing what is credit business. Vedanta does cash business. Right now, here, if you understand yourself to be what you are free here and now. And that is the vision of Bhagavad Gita. The vision of Bhagavad Gita can be briefly presented by these two words, which we can derive from the first and the last word of Bhagavad Gita. Those who are familiar with the text, they may be knowing the first shloka of Bhagavad Gita is Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsavaha. The last word is Nitir Matir Mama. So this is my Niti. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. So the last word is Mama. The first word is Dharma. So if we combine these two, we get the content of Bhagavad Gita. What is the content? Mama Dharma. Mama means mine, my. Dharma word has got two meanings. One meaning of dharma is duty. So one subject of Bhagavad Gita is what are your duties? And more than that, with what attitude you need to do your duties. What should be your attitude while doing the duties? So the first topic is my duties with proper attitude. That is the first topic of Bhagavad Gita. Doing one's duty with proper attitude. How to do? That is taught in Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is not the scripture which is just to be studied in the forest. It is not the topic, just philosophical topic meant for only retired people. It is meant for the people who are active, because mama dharma is the topic. The second meaning of the word dharma is swarupam. Dharma has got another meaning, swarupam. So second topic is mama dharma, means mama swarupam. What is my true nature? So Bhagavad Gita's second topic is revealing one's true nature. What is my true nature? And Vedanta, Bhagavad Gita reveals your true nature is limitless. And thus, Bhagavad Gita is a very comprehensive text. Talks about how to prepare myself, how to receive the knowledge and be free. So the vision of Bhagavad Gita is prepare yourself by doing your duties properly with proper attitude. Receive the knowledge of your Swarupa by going to the teacher like Ganapathy ji. And by this knowledge, discover inner freedom. Our freedom is coming from within, because the bondage is also is within. Nobody binds you from outside. In Tamil, the wife is called samsara. Some wife feel it is injustice to ladies, because not wife is samsara, husband also is samsara. So really speaking, nobody is samsara. A person is not a samsara. Husband also is not samsara, wife also is not samsara. What is samsara or bondage? Bondage is my ignorance and my wrong conclusion about myself. So ignorance and ignorance based wrong conclusions are samsara. And that is there in me, and that is removed by the knowledge given by the Shastra. And therefore, Bhagavad Gita is a very comprehensive text, and you have a good teacher to teach you well, because he has studied in a traditional manner in a Gurukulam, and therefore he is competent enough to handle the Shastra. As I am going to talk about Guru, the Shastra cannot be studied by oneself. It is something like if you have a CD or pen drive. If you keep pen drive near your ear, you will not hear anything. For pen drive to give you the talk or give you some music, you have to put it in a system, in a device. Similarly, Shastras are like CDs and pen drives. You cannot directly get the message from Shastra. You need to receive the message from a competent teacher. In Shastra, we call it Sampradayavit. The one who knows traditional teaching is called Sampradayavit. And when we learn from Sampradayavit, then only we can get the vision of Shastra. And the vision of Shastra is that you are free if you know yourself to be what you are. And that is why we have so much significance of Guru. Because Guru gives me what I am seeking in my life. I am seeking fulfillment in my life, and Guru helps me discover that fulfillment by discovery of my true nature. And therefore, the day like Guru Purnima gives us an opportunity to express our gratitude to the parampara of the teachers, because of which alone we have received this knowledge. All of us are indebted to our teacher. And without teacher in any field, our life will be miserable. In any field, we require a teacher. In fact, when you are driving, you require GPS. You require somebody to guide you. And the more territory is unknown, the more is the requirement for the guide. And the spiritual territory is quite unknown. Moksha is quite unknown territory, and therefore we require a guide, a guru. The very word guru has got this meaning. Grinati upadishyati iti guru. One who teaches is guru. And another interpretation is Gu means darkness. Ru means remover. One who removes darkness of ignorance is guru. And because of darkness, we suffer in our life. Similarly, because of the darkness of ignorance, we suffer. And therefore, we require a guru. And we are fortunate that many gurus are available in this country. And nowadays, many more are available because of these online facilities. So now you can have access to guru in Bombay also, guru in Bangalore also, guru in Delhi, guru in the US. So many gurus are available. In a way, it is good because we have got more opportunities, and therefore we take benefit of this opportunity available to us, given us by the Lord, because they say in our life we can get the opportunity to have the teaching of Vedanta only because of some punyam. Devanugraha hetukam. By the grace of the Guru, grace of the Lord alone, this is possible. And therefore, this God-given opportunity, we should not let it go without being utilized. So I pray for the successful conduct of this Bhagavad Gita classes by Sri Ganapathy ji. He is a very nice person. I like him as a person also. He always a smiling person. And he's a one mantra is what is the Shubham? What is that, Ganapathy ji? Yad bhavati ta Shubham.
Ishvara yad karoti shobhanam eva karoti.
It is a shloka. Whatever Bhagavan does, shobhanam eva. He has lived his life by this principle. Therefore, you see this smile on his face. Nowadays, smile is very, very rare thing happening. So he has a smile because he has got this conviction that whatever Bhagavan does is good for us. So you will be benefited by this type of insights also, what he has gained from his own life experience, what he has learned from the Shastras, various teachers. He has learned from many teachers. So you will be benefited by all of them. And I wish you all the best, a very happy journey of learning.
So on behalf of all of you and on my own behalf, I take this opportunity to offer our namaskarams once again to Swamiji. Physically, we would have actually prostrated before him, but in the internet, we can only do this namaskara. And we once again seek his blessings for the fruitful and successful completion of this Bhagavad Gita learning which we are going to commence today. Hari. Thank you very much, Swamiji. Hari. So now I will briefly talk about how I propose to approach this teaching of this Bhagavad Gita in these classes. As you are all aware, in our tradition, we have got a very vast and profound scriptural literature. And it covers different philosophies. Advaita Vedanta is only one of the philosophies covered in our scriptural literature. Dvaitam, Visishta, Dvaitam, then, even, what we call Veda, philosophy, all these are covered in our scriptures. Okay. Unlike some other religions, we don't have a single book. In fact, we have got a whole library which we cannot even exhaust reading it or studying it in one lifetime rather. That much vastness is the nature of our scriptural texts. And this is what we call Shastram. Okay. And this scriptural literature is presented in 6 layers. These 6 layers, I'll just briefly explain them. The topmost layer is Vedas. And these Vedas, they were not human effort. They were revealed by the Lord to humanity. So the Lord is the creator of the Vedas, and it came to the humanity through the rishis. And these Vedas we know are 4 in number: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharvana Veda. Vedas are also called Shruti. The word Shruti also means Vedas because it was always heard. It was never, Vedas were never in written form. It was passed on from generation to generation by oral tradition. So Vedas are the original source of all scriptural knowledge. Whatever we have got in Itihasa, Purana, everything, Vedas are the original source. The second layer is what we call the Sutra literature. The word Sutra in English, if we roughly translate as aphorism. Aphorism means a cryptic statement, a very short, pithy statement, nutshell, in capsule form, a statement, which reveals a certain message. And this Sutra literature which we have also are based upon the Vedas. The teachings of the Vedas, the messages which are contained in the Vedas. Now you will ask, if that is the case, what is the difference? The difference is, in the sutras, the Vedic teachings are presented in a codified form. Means that, see, in Vedas, if you look at it, all the messages, all the the vision of Veda is spread out all over the place. So in Sutra literature, what the rishis have done is they have picked out, topic wise and codified them and presented them, subject wise. But in very, very short sutra form rather. It's a very 1 word or 2 word sentences. Okay. So it is classification and rearrangements of the topic of the Vedas, which the Sutra literature contains. And they clarify also many aspects which the Vedas, may appear to be a little confusing. When we read the Vedas, we may come across many contradictory, apparent contradictory statements. So the Sutra literature clarify all those contradictions. Okay. So codification, clarification are the main aim of the Sutra literature. And as I said, unlike Vedas, they are actually composed by human beings. And we have, so that is a product of human intellect. We have, many sutras, Shrauta Sutrani, Grihkya Sutrani, Abastamba Sutrani, Gautama Sutrani, so many Parashara Sutrani, so many sutras are there. In fact, all of us who know our lineage will be belonging to one of the Sutra rishis who have created these sutras, who have actually written those sutras. Okay. Then comes the third layer of the scriptural literature, which is called Smriti Granthas. The Smriti Granthas are generally in the form of poems. They are metrical compositions, verses. Okay. And as the name goes, Smriti means to remember. So Smriti Granthas are remembered literature, remembered texts. So the rishis are, Acharyas and all of your olden times. They studied the Vedas, they studied the Sutra literature, and they found that these things may be difficult for a common man to understand. So they came up with these Smriti Granthas. And that's again, a product of human intellect rather. They gathered all those teachings and presented them in a more elaborate form than what was contained in the Sutra literature. And also was made a little more user friendly. I mean, people who are going to get this learning, so they presented these Smriti Granthas. They were there. So we have several rishis have done this. Manu Smriti is there, Yagyavalkya Smriti is there, Parashara Smriti is there. So many Smriti Granthas are there. Okay. And in Smriti Granthas, the various topics are beautifully arranged. Unlike the Vedas and better than Sutra literature, they are more, better arranged rather. And then it is easy for us to refer which topic we want, where the content of that particular topic is available, subject matter, chapter wise, and all that. It is provided in the Smriti Granthas. There are certain hidden messages maybe there in the Vedas. Those are also brought out in the Smriti Granthas. So again, the Smriti literature is very vast, and it's also a man-made literature. And in fact, Bhagavad Gita comes under this Smriti literature. It was written by Acharya, whose birthday we are celebrating today, on the auspicious as a Guru Purnima. He was born on this Ashada Purnima day. So Vyasacharya wrote this Bhagavad Gita, and that is also a Smriti Grantha. Then the fourth layer comes is a Puranas, where the same ideas which are there in the Vedas, which are elucidated in the Sutra literature, which are elaborated in the Smriti Granthas, are further elaborated, projected with a lot of stories and entertaining stories and all in the Purana literature. So it's in a more expanded form. The same Vedic message, more expanded form. So actually, it's if you compare the magnification, if the magnification in 1:10 so far as Smriti Granthas is concerned, in Puranas it is 1:100. So you will have to read one whole Purana to find out a few messages which is coming out of it. Otherwise, all that will be very nice stories, entertaining stories and all that, which could be sometimes a disadvantage because you may get lost in the stories and miss the message. That's what happening to many people today who go to this Bhagavata Saptaham and all. They get so engrossed in the stories of Lord Krishna. What is the message that is being given by the Purana? They totally ignore, and then they continue to live their life without any improvement. So that is the Purana literature. The word Purana itself is a very beautiful word. Pura api nava. It is ancient. Pura means ancient. Nava means new, latest. So even though this literature is ancient, it has been written long ago, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 years ago, but they remain relevant even today. Even for our day-to-day living, the messages which is contained in these Puranas remain relevant. Okay. So they are also in the form of poems or verse form, and they also further magnify the codification, classification, and clarification which are given in the Smriti Granthas. Okay, we have 18 Puranas and 18 Upa Puranas, and all of them are said to be written by Vyasacharya. So he has not only he actually codified the Vedas into the 4 Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama, and Atharvana. Atharvana, of course, he did not do. 2 rishis later on did. He did it 3 Rig, Sama, and Yajur Vedas. He codified, and then he wrote the Sutra literature. Then he also wrote Mahabharata, Itihasa. So Itihasa is the 5th layer. 5th layer of our scriptural literature is Itihasa. Itihasa literally means history-based literature, and therefore the contents of Itihasas, that is the 2 Itihasas we have, Ramayana and Mahabharata, they are supposed to be factual in nature. Because the word Itihasa, iti means thus, in this manner. Ha means indeed. Asa means happened. So if you put this itihasa word, if you translate it, it happened in this manner, this way. That is the literal meaning of the word itihasa. So what we have to understand is that this itihasa, they were written by picking up one or two values which are there in the Vedas, and then they were expanded with the help of history into, messages to be conveyed to the masses. So if it is not pure history also, itihasa is not pure history, but the background of itihasa is history which has happened. But out of that happening, out of that history, the message is actually brought out. And for that purpose, the writers of this, creators of this itihasa, like Valmiki Muni for Ramayana and Vyasacharya, they have used certain, fictional characters, maybe some imagination of theirs and all, in order to bring out the message of the itihasa in a symbolic manner. So, for example, in Ramayana, we say Ravana had 10 heads. We have never ever seen any 10 heads in anywhere. Only Ravana in all the literature has got 10 heads. So that's a symbolizing of the split character of the Ravana. He actually, got 10 different characters. One of a bhakta. One head represents, his greedy nature. One head represents lustful attitude. All these things, the 10 heads, so we need to understand that for children, it will be very, very nice, 10 heads and all that to imagine. But as we grow up and we read the same Ramayana, we need to find out the symbolism and, rather absorb the message which is there in the Ramayana. So this is the fifth layer, itihasa. So last layer is what we call the Bhashyam literature. Now this Bhashyam literature means they are commentaries written in Sanskrit by Acharyas of yore, which are interpreting or explaining the Sutra literature, the Smriti Granthas, even there is a Bhashyam for Vedas. I mean, there is a Karma Kanda Bhashyam for Jaimini Bhashyam. Then for the Jnana Kanda, we have got Adi Shankara's Bhashyam called Brahma Sutra. Jnana Kanda is called Brahma Sutra. The Sutra form of Jnana Kanda Upanishad is called Brahma Sutra. And that Brahma Sutra, Bhashyam Adi Shankara has written a very, very detailed Bhashyam on Brahma Sutra. So this Bhashyam is nothing but explaining all these Vedic literature in Sanskrit in prose form. So this Bhashyam, some of them of course can be in verse form also, but by and large, Adi Shankara has adopted mostly prose form rather. And this Bhashyam literature is the first step for us to understand the messages which are being conveyed by the Vedas in order, because these Acharyas, these Gurus in the Parampara, they have unfolded, revealed the messages of the Vedas. And by studying the Bhashyam, we can understand what the Vedas and Upanishads, they want to convey, what is the message contained in the Vedic literature. Okay. Because if we study these Vedas on our own, as Swamiji said, it will be very difficult. There are words, there are expressions which we will not find in any dictionary, any Sanskrit dictionary. And then there are, the Vedanta Shastra. Vedanta Shastra is supposed to be a very, very closely guarded secret Shastra, not to be shared with everybody. You require a certain intellectual maturity, emotional maturity to understand the Vedanta Shastra. So the gurus of past, they never exposed the common man who lacks in this, who needs to develop these qualities more. The gurus never exposed them. It is thanks to Swami, Swamiji like Swami Vivekananda, Swami Chinmayananda, Swami Dayananda Saraswati and all. We have access to this literature. Otherwise, for us to think of going to a Gurukulam and spending, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, it will be impossible in modern days of this competitive world. As soon as we step out of our college, our thinking is only I should get a job, and then in the job I will need to be very competitive in order to retain the job. So our whole focus has become materialistic. So we will never ever have access to this literature, and we will never be, the wisdom of this literature will be totally lost to us. So this Bhashyam literature helps us to understand these messages which is contained in the Vedas and also in the sutras and all that. This Bhashyam is required to unlock the messages, which, as we call it. And this methodology is what is called Sampradaya, as Swamiji referred to Sampradaya with. So because, as I told, you need to learn this from a guru who has learned from his guru. So this knowledge of the scriptural literature is passed down from one guru to another guru in the Sampradaya, in the tradition. So the first thing is one needs to learn from a guru. And the second important aspect is one needs to learn from a guru who has learned in the traditional way. Otherwise, you have got these neo-Vedantists today. They come up with their own interpretation of Vedanta. They will actually, quote from here and there without any relevance. They have no exposure to Bhashyam literature. They do not know what Adi Shankara has said about this, or what Ramanujacharya has said about this topic. They have no clue at all. They read some Western authors and all that, and they form their own opinion and they start teaching and all that. And those kind of teaching will eventually, if you keep on asking the question, somewhere they will break down, because they don't know what the essence of it is. They have not learned it in the proper way. Okay. So this Bhashyam literature helps us in that. And as I said, the Bhagavad Gita belongs to the third layer, which is the Smriti Granthas, right? And as we all know, it belongs to the Mahabharata text. Bhagavad Gita itself contains 700 slokas and divided into 18 chapters. And as Swamiji said, it's predominantly a dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. He has already explained the background briefly. Of course, I will also be dealing in little more detail about the background as we go along. And Bhagavad Gita today is the, we can say, most popular scriptural literature of our Hindus. Becoming more and more popular, not only in India but also worldwide. I am told, I don't have any first-hand information, that in Europe in some schools and all, they are teaching Bhagavad Gita in the school itself. So that is the attraction of this Bhagavad Gita becoming more and more popular in this world. Okay. So in order to understand the meaning of these verses of this, and also the implications of that verses, we have a detailed commentary of Adi Shankara, which is what I studied with Swami, with the help of Swami Sadatmananda. Yes, Adi Shankara has interpreted every word of Bhagavad Gita and explained it. Of course, they're all in Sanskrit. And also has conveyed what is the message and vision of the Bhagavad Gita is. Because many times in scriptural literature, what happens is, many people do this mistake. They will read one or two verses and form some idea. And they will say, this is what Bhagavad Gita is actually, the message of Bhagavad Gita is. Then later on, when they read another few verses, those verses will appear to be contradicting the earlier verses. Then they will be confused, which is the right version. So they will end up in total confusion, and in fact, they will end up blaming Bhagavad Gita. They will not accept that it is because of their wrong understanding, the confusion has arisen. They will say Bhagavad Gita is a confused literature. That is what they will say. So it is necessary that we actually study Bhagavad Gita and the messages from a point of view of the overall message of what Bhagavad Gita. What is the message contained in the 18 chapters? And when Adi Shankara has written the commentary of the Bhashyam, he has done that. He actually, relates it to previous slokas, later slokas, and all, connects all of them together to say this is exactly what Lord Krishna wants to say, or he is saying in Bhagavad Gita. And based on that, Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati has written a very profound commentary. It runs into 9 volumes, hard copy. Okay. Exemplary exposition of Adi Shankara's Bhashyam, Pujya Swamiji has done. Monumental work. And then Swami Paramarthanandaji, many of you know him, have heard about him. He is a student of Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati. He has actually conducted Bhagavad Gita classes, Bhashyam classes over several years in Chennai. Several years, I think 7 or 8 years it took for him to complete the Bhashyam classes. I don't know what was the frequency of the classes. And as I told you, I have learned Bhagavad Gita from with Shankara Bhashyam from Swami Sadatmanandaji, which classes ran almost 3 years on a daily basis. Every day classes and 3 years. You can imagine how many classes, more than 1,000 classes it was there. We have learned word by word the Bhashyam. Okay. So there is so much to learn and so many sources are there to learn for Bhagavad Gita. There is no dearth of sources of learning. But if we take that approach of learning from the Bhashyam, it is going to take a huge, and with 1 class a week, many of us may not survive the completion of these Gita classes, including me. So, what I propose to do is that I am going to teach the Moolam, the slokas of Bhagavad Gita. I will explain the word by word, the Moolam, but the explanation will be based upon what I have learned from all these sources. So I will not be doing a word by word explanation of the Bhashyam, but my explanation will be a summary of what the Adi Shankara and of course followed by Pujya Swamiji and all, and Swami Sadatmanandaji have taught me, or even Swami Paramarthanandaji has explained. And while I learned from them, one big advantage I have is some of the contemporary examples I get ready-made in their talks. So I can share those examples with you, which will be easier for me to convey the message. So that is what I am going to do. And the other aspect which I will be trying to do is that many of my Sanskrit students are also enrolled for these Bhagavad Gita classes. So each verse, see, there is, first of all, when you understand or, when you unfold a verse in any Shastra, there is a methodology which we have to do it. Because the Sanskrit language is such that it's a very, very profound language. Many words will be joined together. And you will have to split that word to understand, what each word means and all. So in order to make it a little more interesting for my Sanskrit students, and also to make it a sort of a tool for them to learn more Sanskrit, I will be converting the verses into prose form, splitting the words. But that will take only hardly 30 seconds or 1 minute after I read every verse. And then I will word by word explain the meaning. So this is what I'm going to do. This is going to be my approach for teaching Bhagavad Gita. And let us hope so. How long this class runs, I cannot predict at this point in time. The next few classes, 2-3 classes, will be more sort of a stage setting, preparing the ground for teaching of the Bhagavad Gita. The next class we will see the Gita Mahima, that is what is the glory of the Gita. So we will see that, and then we will see, go to the further talks. So with that, I will end this session. I will say my prayers, and if anybody has got any questions, they can ask. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all. If anybody has got any questions, please unmute yourself. All others, please remain in mute, because I don't want, people, 3-4 people talking together. I am not expert in handling 3-4 questions at the same time. One by one, we can take all questions. I have no time constraint from my side. Okay. There any
Thank you.
please
Thank
raise.
you very much, Guruji. You have made a good
Thank you very
beginning.
much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Raghuji, it was very nice to hear Swami Sadatmananda talk.
Yes.
I
You're all
haven't
blessed.
heard him.
Yeah.
This is the first time. Thank you so much.
Very nice. Yeah.
Dhanyawada, Guruji.
He readily agreed. So it's a very nice person, very nice, compassionate person.
Yes, Swamiji, Puja Swamiji's daya, we can see. We can see.
That's why I said, see, all this it's not mere words I told about him. This is all personally I have experienced all this. I have learned a lot from him. So that is the thing. So much is tapasvi rather. In his fast, in his eating, food habits, it's tapas rather. He is very disciplined person rather. So even though we may not be able to reach that level, but at least, we have a role model whom we can follow, in terms of, maintaining the self-discipline. He will not open his mouth when he is eating, And I had the opportunity to serve the Swamijis there in the ashram. Every day lunch I will serve him. And he will not ask for anything. It is for us to understand whether we have to give him more or nothing. He will not open his mouth at all. Whatever we give him, he will eat and go. That's what.
Yes, I have experienced that with Puja Swamiji. He will not open his mouth. He will not.
So that's all. These are all, tapas. We have to, when we are eating, we are supposed to totally focus on eating. Today, what we do, when we are eating, we are seeing TV, having a phone in the hand and all that. That is not the way. And then later on, we complain why I am having all these problems, health problems and all. Because what you have eaten has not gone and done its job. You have not applied your mind to eating. So that is the problem with all of us, in this. So for that, ashram is the best place. You can follow all these disciplines. Similarly, maunam, silence, very good, sadhana required for a spiritual seeker rather. So anyhow,
we are very fortunate to be in this journey with you, and we are really blessed, very truly blessed, Raghuji. On behalf of all of us, I want to appreciate the effort that you're putting, that you're teaching us. Really looking forward to this.
See, I am only sharing, what I have learned. And in fact, Swami Paramarthanandaji, in today's talk, he has said that the best Guru Dakshina a student can give is to share the knowledge that he has got from his gurus. That's all. This is all. I am doing it as a Guru Dakshina by sharing the knowledge with all of you. So
yes.
Any amount of money I give is not going to, stay for long. But this knowledge will stay with you for your, rest of your life. And some of you may actually be later on, be inclined to teach and further spread this knowledge. So that is all I am doing. Of course, I have the blessings of Gurus and also Ishwara's blessings, which enables me to do this rather. So that, that way all of us are blessed.
We pray to Ishwara to give you, long life and enthusiasm to continuously teach everybody. Thank you so much, Raghuji.
Any questions are there?
Namaskaram.
Of course, about the teaching. Any question you can ask. General questions, not relating to Bhagavad Gita. That we'll have sessions later. So I just very briefly explain to you what I'm going to, how I'm going to approach. But as we go along, some changes also we may bring in, but not many major changes. But this is how I personally feel that within a reasonable time, we can complete the entire 700 shlokas.
Raghuji,
Yes, please.
Paramarthananda took 14 years to complete the Bhashyam.
Ram,
600 lectures.
exactly. The Bhashya, it is very long. And what was the frequency of those talks? It was those
Weekly once.
Weekly once. See, so 14 years. And I told you 1,000 classes I took. So he has also taken more than 700 or 800 classes rather.
600
classes.
class. 600 classes.
600 classes. In fact, Ramuji's great work he has done. He has transcribed the entire 14 years of Swami Paramathananda's talks into book rather.
Not yet completed.
Not yet completed. The last volume, I think, last 1 or 2 volumes is still up to
1
30
volume.
chapter he has done.
1 volume is parallel. 15 chapter over.
15 is over. So 3 more chapters are there.
Yeah.
Profound work. I think, in fact, we must prostrate before Ramuji for this great work that he has done.
Nothing like that.
And in fact, when I tell you that, I have not heard Swami Paramathanandaji's talks rather. But I have Ramuji's transcription with me. Whenever I want to say, explain something, I can refer to the transcription, get some very beautiful examples which Swami Paramathananda quotes. And I really love the examples that he quotes, very down-to-earth examples he quotes rather. So that way, it is a very great source. So for my teaching, I have got enough. Swamiji's books are there, the Bhagavad Gita, Dayanand Saraswati's books. I have got copious notes which I took in the class during these 3 years when I was in Gurukulam. In fact, people used to ask me, why you are taking so much notes and all that. In fact, verbatim almost I have taken. Because I knew that sometime if I'm going to teach, all these things will be useful for me. And then what also happens is in the class, if you are actually only listening, many times it happens your attention goes elsewhere. Now, if you are focused on listening and typing, I can type very well on the computer. So if you are focusing on listening and typing, the same thing is going twice into your head rather. It goes and registers inside. So I have also got verbatim, transcription of what Swami Sadatmananda taught me for 3.5 years rather. So much material is there for Bhagavad Gita, is not a problem at all. In fact, I will have to prune that and then, decide how I am going to convey the same thing in a short, this thing, making it relevant and not becoming, very boring kind of a talk. So that is my challenge.
Is Ramuji's manuscript is available in Arsha Avinash?
Yeah. It is there in Arsha Vidya. Sorry, arshaavinash.in. It is available.
Okay, thank you.
Download it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ramuji.
5,000, 6,000 pages.
Thank you so much, Ramuji.
Available. Yeah. You can read there also. Those who can. In fact, once you start getting into this, then you read all these things. It's very useful rather. You get a lot more ideas than what we will learn in the class here. So, and Bhashyam, if you are interested, word by word Bhashyam, read that. Transcription is beautiful. Thanks to Ramuji. Ramuji is a great source of all this. I always request him that I am looking for this text, looking for next text. When I send it, I search in internet, I don't get it. When I send a message to him, immediately from somewhere he gets it and sends it to me. It's a magic, he has, I think, more bigger library he has got that, all these scriptures rather.
The collection for so many years.
Collection
of ebooks.
No, and then he has got a very beautiful golden heart to share it, so that is the beauty. So I am always indebted to Ramuji for this. All there, even in Sanskrit also, so many things he, sends it to me. In fact, so much material is there that I am not able to handle it for the purposes of teaching. But they are all reference material, useful material. So, any more questions? Any more comments? Otherwise,
Namaskara.
close this session and then meet on next Saturday, 6 p.m.
Namaskaram, Guruji. It was very nice. Very nice.
Namaskaram. Thank you.
Thank you all. Once again.
Thank you very much, Guruji.
Hari Om.
Dhanyawad.
Thank you. Hari Om.
I will send the record to everybody in 1 or 2 days. Okay, the recording of this.
Thank you.